Welcome back to the Citizen channel. You're all staying safe and well. And our little look called the Odds Show, where we have a look at an upcoming game. Of course, it's City versus Chelsea, a big game this week on the 15th of January, 12:30 p.m. kickoff. So we're going to have a look at that today, guys, in the Odds Show, see if there's any value and come up with a couple of charity bets. Yes, as after the Swindon game, another 2 wins for the charity. So the pot is building nicely. So please keep your fingers crossed today for me. Just a couple of quick things. We monetize the channel now, or I monetize the channel now. So if you do follow any of the ads and follow any of the links, etc., it all helps the channel going forward. And the other one is just a little apology. I've gone and chipped my front tooth again, so don't think I'm goofy. I've got to get it sorted out again, but I might have to do some extra. I can't keep asking the dentist every 2 or 3 months. He tells me guarantees it 3 or 4 years, but it's lasting 2 months at the time. So we'll have to sort something out there. So my apologies if I look a little bit a bit goofy this show today, this feature today. I'll get it sorted out. Hope you don't mind it. I'm sure you don't look at me. Don't look at this too much anyway. But there you go. Right, Swindon. Yeah, after Swindon, another success. So what we do with these odd shows will always be a City lean. And obviously, it's a quite competitive game. This so. We're looking at Chelsea as well, and any value with stuff for them. And if any Chelsea fans are listening, there might be some stuff in here of interest to you. Please, I don't condone gambling in any way. When the fun stops, and always be gamble aware that if you do find yourself having problems, there are organisations that can help, of course. And if you get in touch with me, I can always point you in the direction of one as well to sort that out. I say this is just for a little bit of fun. My only gambling now. I mean, I have been quite a keen gambler over the years, as and when I could afford it, and that's how I work it. And obviously now I just do the ones for charity. I just have a couple of bets for charity. That's it. I don't have any other bets. It gives me a little bit of interest and a little testing myself as well if we can get some more money for the charity. So, but as I say, if you are having trouble, just let me know, or there are places out there can help you out. Right, let's check out some value on this City-Chelsea game, 15th of January. All these prices at 4 p.m. On the 13th of January 2022. So, yeah, general odds, Premier League odds, City are 1 to 10 on now. That's the best price you can get. So if you put a tenner on, you'll get 11 quid back. Probably not worth it, even for me. I don't mind an odds-on bet, but that's just ridiculous, really. We've still got 17 games left. I mean, yeah, I can understand it, but yeah, certainly not worth any dosh on it. Obviously, Chelsea are now 33 to 1 is the best price you can get on them, or the best value you can get on them. We bet Fred to win the title, still 33 to 1. Yeah, again, tempting, but hey, after this game, it might be more interesting, mightn't it? 13 to 8. Yeah, the 13 to 8 actually finished top 2. So obviously, people are thinking City and Liverpool might be the 2 teams, and Chelsea might drop out. But if you did fancy Chelsea still to finish in the top 2, then you can get 13 to 8 at Bet365. The match odds themselves, as you'd expect, City aren't very long odds on this one. It's quite close, and our record against Chelsea in the last 20 league games we played against them is 110, drawn 7 and lost 3. City are 13 to 20 on. That's the best price knocking around. The draw is 3 to 1. If you do fancy Chelsea win, it's 4 to 1 and 9 to 2 with Betfred. Right, the whole basis of what I'm doing today is this City team. So if you watch my preview show, this City team's been named in there. As I said, this is all done before Pet's press conference and stuff, so I may be right, I may be wrong, but I'm going with this as the team, and this is what I've based all my judgments on, if you like. So the starting 11 for City that I've got is Ederson, Walker, Diaz, Laporte, Cancelo, Rodri, Bernardo, Gundogan, KDB, Phil Foden, and yes, Raheem Sterling. I did say in the preview show I might have a wild card of Cole Palmer as well, but I'll be very, very surprised. But that's the 11 I've gone with, guys. So that's what I base all these any bets, any charity bets they have, and whether the prices are value or not. Right, let's get on with the prices themselves. First goal scorer. Interesting this, because they're quite good, because obviously it's going to be a competitive game. You can get 6 to 1 on Sterling with 365, and get 13 to 2 on Foden generally. KDB and Bernardo, you get 15 to 2 generally. Gundogan gets 17 to 2. If you're looking at the Chelsea guys, the Chelsea players, well, Lukaku comes in at 8 to 1, Mount's 10, Pulisic is 12, and Havertz is 12 as well. So there is some value for Chelsea fans there as well. Interestingly enough, the City defenders, who seem to be popping up left and right at the moment to score goals in games, you get Cancelo at 22 to 1. It's not bad. Diaz, 30 to 1 with Paddy Power. Laporte, 28 to 1 with Bet365, so they're always worth a look. And if you fancy Mr. Rudiger, who scored against Chelsea, the only goal of the game in the Carabao Cup semi-final second leg the other night at Chelsea against Spurs, you can get 50 to 1 on Rudiger to score. And obviously, if it is a tight game, obviously set pieces where defenders are coming up and stuff like that seem a logical thing. So there's some value there if you're interested in that. I don't tend to look at first goal scorer too much. I like the anytime goal scorer, and so anything around 2 to 1 plus is always worth a look. So if you look at anytime goal scorer, again, it's quite good value on the City players. Sterling's 15 to 8 with 365. Foden's 2 to 1 with 365. KDB, you get 21 to 10, and he doesn't mind a goal against Chelsea, does he? So that interested me. Bernardo's 13 to 5. Gundogan's 3 to 1. You look at the Chelsea players, Lukaku's 14 to 5. This is anytime goal scorer, don't forget. Pulisic is 4. Havertz is 9 to 2 with Betfred. And you look at the defenders again, Cancelo's 17 to 2 with Hill, but value on Laporte 11 and Diaz on at 13 to 1. But I am going to have a bet. This is my first bet of the 2 bets for charity. Anytime goal scorer, and I'm going to go for KDB, and I got a very good price on Smarky. It's one of the betting exchanges, which is what I use, at 2.7, so far better than the actual mainline bookies. So as long as KDB scores, that is. But I'm sure he's a shoe-in to play. And I said he does like a goal against Chelsea. He's always got to try and prove something, hasn't he? So I like that. So I'm going to go. That's my first charity bet. Fingers crossed for me, guys. At 2.7 on KDB, anytime goal scorer. Right, both teams to score. Yeah. Both teams have scored. You look at it from a Chelsea point of view. In 8 of Chelsea's last 9 league games, all right, if you look at City's, it's not the same, but that's an interesting stat. City have scored in 15 of their last 16 league games. So interesting, based on that, I mean, yes, he's definitely the favourite. 3 to 4 on is the best price you can get on both teams to score. And for me, that sounds pretty reasonable. If you said no, it was to 0, which again, in a tight game, it could be 0 either way, couldn't it? You can get 23 to 20 with Bet Victor, so I wouldn't put anyone off doing that as well. I mean, but I'm more inclined to think yes, based on the stats and based on knowing the two teams and how they've been playing. Correct score, yeah, 2-0. Chelsea have only kept 1 clean sheet in their last 9 league games. So that's interesting. I mean, if you go a clean sheet, it's far too restrictive to have a go on that one. But I'm not too sure if it'll be dead high scoring, but I do expect goals. I do expect at least, possibly at least 3 goals in this. I expect, at best for, say, City a 3-0 or a 2-1. Either way or something like that, but I do expect at least 1 goal each, and then obviously another one would be interesting. So if you look at the prices on the correct score, 0-0 is 12 to 1, 1-1 is 7 to 1, 2-2 is 16 to 1 with Bet365, a City win 1-0, 15 to 2. With 365, 2-0 City win is 8 to 1 generally. A 3-0 City win is 4. All these are with 365 now. A 3-0 is 14 to 1. A 4-0 is 28 to 1. A 2-1 is 8 to 1, a 3-1 is 14 to 1, and a 4-1 City win is 28 to 1. But if you fancy Chelsea, these are generally available prices. A 1-0 Chelsea win is 14 to 1. A 2-0 Chelsea win is 28 to 1. And if they were to replicate what they did to us last time at the Etihad, which was a 2-1 victory, at 16 to 1. So there's some value for Chelsea fans there, but I wouldn't touch that with a barge ball. I'm a City fan. Half-time, full-time, yeah. In a tight game, a draw in City looks okay-ish. But you can get these prices. City is 13 to 8, half-time, full-time. A draw and then City 7 to 2. So I like that. That's a good price. A draw is 11 to 2 with 365. Chelsea and then a draw. Chelsea half-time, City and a draw at full-time is 16 to 1. A draw at half-time and Chelsea to win, you get 10 to 1. So I certainly wouldn't, that was what it happened at, of course, it's very, very feasible. Chelsea could nick it. That's 10 to 1. Chelsea half-time, full-time, 8 to 1. So that's sort of priced at 8 to 1 with Betfair Sports. But the one we're going to do now, another interesting one that I like is the total goals over-under. I think we talked about that a little bit in the correct score, didn't we, about how many goals were going to be scored. So 8 out of the last 12 matches between City and Chelsea have gone over 2.5 goals. Now, I don't expect them to do loads of goals, but as I said, I do expect there to be at least 3, perhaps, a 2-1 or a 3-0 or a 1-2 even, whatever. So I do expect that. And over 2.5 is 4-5 on, which is an interesting price. Though not a big score. 3 is definitely possible, 3 goals. Under 2.5, you do expect to be a 0-0 or a 1-0, 1-1. A 2-0, that's even. So even that's tempting. Under 3.5 is 2-5. Yeah, just a little bit out of my range of 2-5. I have done 2-5s, but under 3.5, I just think it might be 3 or 4 goals at least in this, even though I'm thinking it might, again, it could be tight. Over 3.5 goals is 21-10, so that's a good price. But I wouldn't want to take a chance on that, but I am taking a chance on something. Obviously, for my charity bet on the total goals over and under, I've gone for over 2.5 goals. So there's going to be 3 goals in the game. And at 0.83 again with Smarkets on the exchanges, I think that's doable. So that's my 2 charity bet, guys. So please keep your fingers crossed. A couple of others before we go. Winning margin, a 1-goal winning margin for City, 13-5. A 2-goal, 15-4, and a 3-goal winning margin, 15-2. They're all with Bet365. And for Chelsea, if you fancy them to win by 1 goal, which they did the last game at the Etihad we played, 13-2. Betfair Sports, and a 2-goal winning margin is 15-4 with Bet365. Teams to score first, yeah, I mean, excuse me, City are 1-2 on and Chelsea are 19-10 with Bet Victor, the best price, almost 2-1. So that's an interest. I certainly won't put Chelsea fans off the 19-10 at nearly 2-1. If I was doing this from a Chelsea point of view, that would be very, very tempting. And interestingly enough, total cars. The ref for this game is Craig Pawson. And he's refereed 19 games so far this season. He's averaging 4 yellow cards a game, and also add to that 5 red cards. So that is very interesting. So if you look at under 4.5 bookings, which is 4, obviously 8-13, but 4.5, obviously over 4.5 is 6-5. That's very possible. If a lively affair, 5 players get booked, there you go, you're over it, or 1 player gets sent off. Anything could happen. I mean, you can actually get 5-1 at William Hill for a sending off in this game. Anyone to be sent off in this game. So that's not too bad either. So, as I say, I think those prices, over 4.5 cars, 6-5. Like I say, they are reckoning on under 4.5, but that is tempting, 6-5. I couldn't do it on the exchanges, but I wouldn't put you off having a look at that. And finally, before we go, it's not always a lot of corners in these games, and the odds reflect that. Under 10.5 corners in the game is 8-11 on. This does appear to be the bet for me. I can't see it being, both teams will be probing. Well, certainly City will be probing. Obviously, Chelsea will be aiming to try and get us on the break, but I don't think there's going to be a flurry of corners, to be honest with you. So under 10.5 is 8-11. Over 10.5, if you did fancy, you can get even. So it is interesting, but I just say it's not a market I would go. If I had to, I'd say under 10.5 for corners. I think is a safer bet. And 8-11 is not a bad price to put people off. So there you go. That's what we're doing this week. So just remind you of the charity bets. If you can find them wherever they are, they're somewhere. There we go. So the charity bets this week, obviously, is anytime goal scorer at 2.7. So I've stuck down Mr. KDB. So fingers crossed for Kevin to get on the score sheet. About time he got on the score. He's not scored for a little while, has he? I'm trying to think. I think he has scored. I can't remember. My brain, guys. I'm sorry about that. But why not? Why not against Chelsea? And of course, the over 2.5 goals in the game. So there's got to be 3 goals or more at 0.83. So they're the 2 bets. Keep your fingers crossed. Let me know what you're having to go on, what you fancied, anything you might have fancied that I might have missed. Give us a shout. And of course, after the event as well, just let me know if you have a little win. I'll be interested to know how you've done, and that'd be absolutely brilliant. But thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me. What you're going to do the rest of the day, have a great one. Catch yourselves, catch your friends, catch your families. More important, let's all look after each other. We meet here again on the Citizen channel. I only ask one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.